Welcome back to Dark Sage Interlude, the series where basically I just give you like a niche point of view or my niche experience or my opinions and thoughts that really ain't like warranted for the show Beyond Beats and Culture, which that's what this show is, presented by Beyond Beats and Culture. The series where I'm giving you basically my input, my talking points or my opinion on things that I kind of want to talk about that I know that my co-host specifically probably doesn't really care for or probably really doesn't care to talk about. And I can't believe I'm talking about this today. And I'm so excited because before this year started, before we actually had to get some of the show notes happening and some of the anniversary album reviews done for the notes section of us like seeing like, oh, okay, what albums are we going to be reviewing? What albums turn this age? Yada, yada, whoop, whoop, whoop. Before we did all that, before the show of this year, I put all that stuff in the notes, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, this is the year that Houston dominated, dog. Like, this is the year that Houston really took over hip hop right here. This is when, the South has been taking over hip hop for a long time now. But this is the year that Houston was really reigning dominant. Like, I was from the city. I was in the city at the time too. But this is a very proud moment to be a Houstonian. You get what I'm saying? And I'm very hyped for this year because we're going to be having a lot of album anniversaries on the show itself. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to the channel where you are viewing this right here. And make sure you like this video to get it boosted within the algorithm, especially with us talking about stuff like this. But man, it's time to actually talk about some of the albums that came out in 2005. It's crazy to say that 2005 was 20 years ago. I'm dang near approaching 30 right now. I am an old man. I'm turning from a YN to an old head. If you guys don't know, obviously from me telling you my age, I'm a blog era kid. I came up during the blog era. During the blog era's reign, I was in middle school to high school. So to see like 2005 being 20 years ago, I'm an old man now. And I hate that because I'm unk. I mean, I like being unk because you got to respect me now. But also, the wines don't care what I think. You get what I'm saying? So let's actually talk about the 26 best albums, best hip hop albums from 2005. This is an article made by Double XL, and I just wanted to react to it because, like I said, we are going to review some of these albums on the actual show, so make sure you check out Beyond Beats and Culture, the actual show. But if you're watching this video, you're already on the page, hit the subscribe button. This is just a side quest. This is just DLC for this right here. This is just added complimentary content for that right here. But let's actually go ahead and talk about this Double XL article right here, 26 of the best albums of 2005. And right here we have some of these albums right here. We have The Massacre by 50 Cent, Common, B, we have Missy Elliott's The Cookbook, Slim Thug's Already Platinum, The Game, the documentary, and Kanye West's Late Registration. Let's actually go ahead and see some of the albums that they have on here because I didn't look at this list, but I know that Houston was reigning dominant. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and see Kanye West's Late Registration. Classic. Kanye has about college dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, 808s. He has at least 5 classics, and this is one of them right here. There's not much I can say about Late Registration, but I cannot wait to review this. I cannot wait to review this. So, hey, B, if you see this video right here, hey, we reviewing this? Oh, yeah, we reviewing this. The Game documentary. By the time this video is out, the review for this should be out as well. But yeah, The Game documentary. I was hesitant to call it a classic when I heard it last year in 2024, but to hear it now, it's a classic. Game had the West Coast on his back. This was a really great album. Like I like to call it, it's Get Rich or Die Trying 2.0. Game is a better rapper than 50. It takes a lot of elements from Get Rich or Die Trying, but to me, it's a better and it's a more well put together project. Even though it doesn't have the same impact as Get Rich or Die Trying, it's still a classic album that I think holds up better than Get Rich or Die Trying. That could be a hot take. I don't know. You guys let me know. But next project we have Slim Thug's Already Platinum. I'm not the biggest Slim Thug fan, especially in modern days, in the modern years. Yes, I'm not talking about his antics or him giving his commentary on social media. I don't really care for that. I don't tune into that nonsense. But when it comes to Slim Thug's Already Platinum, I did jam this album, but this is probably one of those Houston albums that I jammed the least out of all the Houston albums that was reigning during that year. But it's going to be interesting to actually revisit this and see what I think about it now, especially with Slim Thug. He's always had a flow that I've never really been too big of a fan of. You get what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and go to the next project, Sharp Price Monkey Bars. I will admit, I have not heard this one, so I have nothing to say. Next one, Proof, Searching for Jerry Garcia. I have not heard this one either. Next one. Oh, Pimp C, the Sweet James Jones Story. Now, this is an album that was put out because Bun B and UGK, this is obviously while Pimp C was in jail. And this album was put out by, I believe, Rap-A-Lot, I think. I think Rap-A-Lot put this one out because obviously Pimp C was in jail. They needed some music to circulate. Bun B was doing his solo career at this time as well, building his name as a solo artist until Pimp C got back out. So Rap-A-Lot was like, yo, let's put these songs that Pimp was working on, let's put them all together in the album, and let's put it out. I really enjoy this album. I really enjoy Pimp C. Bun B is one of my favorite artists of all time. UGK is one of my favorite rap groups of all time. So Pimp C having his own solo album, I will say I did miss Bun on it. Like I do like Bun and Pimp C together. I think Bun B, personally speaking, I think Bun B can stand on his own a little bit more than Pimp C, but Pimp C is still very charismatic. He's always such a character on these songs and on his music himself. Him trying to do his singing, even though he really like can't sing, but him doing his little singing, him producing. Pimp C is a legend. I don't really need to say much about that. Next project we have One Below Sonogram. Haven't heard it? Let's go to the next project. Paul Wall's The People's Champ. Now, this is an album that I revisited like, I think 2 years ago. And it still holds up. I like it. This is during the reign of like Houston like being on top. Like this is how like, I don't want to say a coast takes over, but this is how a city takes over right here. Houston was on a major run. This run was like catastrophic. It was monstrous. You get what I'm saying? And Paul Wall's The People's Champ. I really like this album. I think that Paul Wall did a really good job on here. And Paul Wall is one of those people that he's just so likable. You can't hate Paul Wall, especially with him still releasing music to this day. And I just heard his recent album. I talked about it on the episode, so make sure y'all go check out Beyond Beats of Culture. But next project we have Missy Elliott's The Cookbook. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard this one, so I can't really speak on it. Who is Mike Jones? Mike Jones. Definitely a huge debut. I think one of the, do I dare say one of the best debuts coming out of Houston? I don't know, because this had such a huge impact in terms of like who Mike Jones was. Mike Jones's hits and singles off this with Still Tipping, Back Then, Flossin' featuring Big Mo. He had a lot riding on him on this album. Pause on that. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a really, really good debut. I actually revisited this last year. I can't wait for us to do an anniversary review on this bad boy. Oh, I'm so hyped right here. But let's go. I'm not gonna lie. Let me go ahead and break this one down for you guys. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the show where, you know, I kind of break some certain things down for you guys and like give you some insight and like give you my tidbits of my personal life. You get what I'm saying? This is where we get personal right here. This is where we get intimate. So I never heard of Little Brother. I know, shocking. A lot of people really haven't heard of Little Brother, but I didn't hear of Little Brother until maybe 2023. I'll say that. And I was doing this thing where I was trying to catch up on a lot of the hip hop that I missed out on. And so I would ask my cousin, my co-host, as you guys know him, Moody Marlin, I would ask him like, yo, like recommend me some stuff. Like what's some stuff I should get into? But I was also using Spotify's like, oh, underground classics and stuff like that. And so I was listening to stuff like Master Ace, Black Star, you know, I was listening to that stuff, and he was recommending me some albums. He was like, yo, let me know if you like this, let me know if you like this. He was recommending me albums. I'm like, okay, cool, I like this album, I like this album. He was like, oh, you might like backpack rap. And backpack rap isn't something I'm like foreign to, but it was never like my cup of tea growing up. Like I'm from the South, like I like the booming trunk knocking stuff. And so he said, you might like backpack stuff. This man sent me this album cover. I was like, hey, yo, what do you have me wanting to listen to? Like, what is this? Why would you want me? Why are they doing this? I can't say the word on YouTube anymore, I heard, because they demonetize people and like they restrict people's videos and stuff like that. But like they C-word. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, what are they doing on this front cover right here? And it kind of looks like a UPN type thing. But the album is called The Minstrel Show. I'm like, what are we doing with this right here? And lo and behold, when I heard the album, I was like, all right. I was listening to the album. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, this is jamming. I'm like, okay, this jamming too. I'm like, wait. All this is jamming. Like, what are we doing right here? I love The Minstrel Show. The Minstrel Show was one of my favorite albums. Even when we did our first episode of Beyond Beats of Culture, I put this as one of the best Southern hip hop albums of all time because this album is just phenomenal. Like, I can't say it's like super influential because it didn't have a huge impact on the game, but Little Brother as a group themselves, without Fonte, would we even have a Drake? You get what I'm saying? Night the Wonder's production. Oh my gosh. Fonte and Pooh's like back and forth. Them rapping together. There's synergy on here. Oh my gosh. Like, what can I say about this album that has not been said? I cannot wait for us to do the anniversary review of this bad boy. We're definitely doing an anniversary review on this. So I don't want to hold us up too long on that one. Next album we have is Lil Wayne's The Carter 2 B. We got to do an interview on this one as well. If you're watching this, B, we got to, I mean, interview. We got to do a review, an album review, an anniversary review on this as well, because the Carter 2 is arguably Lil Wayne's best album. Like, Carter 3 is the most legendary and impactful one, but Carter 2 is that one. You get what I'm saying? If you want like Wayne straight barring up, rapping, you go to the Carter 2, god dang it. Carter 3, he has his mainstream appeal, his mainstream hits and all that type of stuff, but Carter 2 is the one where he's getting his rapping off. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, we might have to do a review on this. I got this one on vinyl as well. Let's go to the next project. Lil Kim's The Naked Truth. I haven't heard of it, so let's go ahead and go to the next one. Juelz Santana, What the Game's Been Missing. Now, let me breathe a little bit. I don't know if this is the one that I heard when I was younger growing up, but I know Juelz Santana, I know of him as a byproduct of him working with Wayne. And so I don't know if this is the project I heard from Juelz Santana. I mean, I'm not opposed to like revisiting it, but Dipset as a group, I think they're cool. Like I like Jim Jones enough, but I never like really went to like a Jim Jones solo album besides the one with We Fly High and Leave My Bones a Car. And my mostly thing, dang, Bird Gang Money, that mixtape right there. You don't love me no more. That album right there, or that mixtape, that was really hard to get back then. I've heard that, like, you know, I've heard Cameron's solo albums as an adult, but Juelz Santana's been one of them artists that I've been afraid to get into because I think he's like the Jadakiss. Like, not saying like he can rap as well as Jadakiss. I'm not saying that at all, but it's like one of those things was like, you don't have a classic, like, do you have like a really great body of work that like people still talk about? And I don't want to waste my time listening to my album. I'm just like, they kind of lukewarm. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is the one I've heard, but I know I've heard like at least 1 or 2 Juelz Santana projects growing up. But next project we have Thug Motivation 101. Let's get it. Now, this is the album that actually got us to start the show Beyond Beats and Culture, because I remember B bringing this up to me, and he said, yo, top 10 like classic Southern hip hop album. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I gotta think about that. I didn't like I didn't like that placement, but I was like, it's definitely top 15 though. And he said, yo, should this be like an episode? Like, should we talk about this? And we always was like theorizing or like thinking about doing the actual show. You get what I'm saying? But we never like really had like a boom, let's do this episode right here, let's do it over this topic right here. And this actually is the start of the actual show itself. This is what I got him for his birthday for the first year that we was doing the show itself as well. So this album to me holds an important place, because without this album, will we have a Beyond Beats and Culture? Probably, but this was like the catalyst to actually starting this and getting the ball rolling on this. So without this, we wouldn't have Beyond Beats and Culture. Without Beyond Beats and Culture, we wouldn't have this right here, the Dark Sages Interlude. So let's go ahead and go to the next project right here. Oh, but also, Thug Motivation 101 is classic. it's a trap classic. It's like, I don't got really much to say about that. David Banner Certified. I think I've heard this album. I think I listened to like most David Banner's albums from the 2000s. It's just that I didn't really find any of them memorable. I think the most memorable one was the one with the blue cover, the one with Get Like Me, the song with Young Jock and Chris Brown on it. I think that was the most memorable one, because that came out like while I was like actively in the hip hop. But yeah, I listened to all of David Banner's albums. It's just, I don't really remember them, so I got to revisit them as an adult. Now, Commons B. This is a classic. This is a classic. Flawless. Like every single goddamn track. If I had to nitpick it, the food, is that what it's called? The food, the live version. I wish there was the actual song version, like an album version, because I would love to hear that like sound a bit more crisp. But it's a classic album. Like, I have not much to say about this. Hopefully we're doing an anniversary review on this. B, I know I'm probably saying this a lot, and if you're watching this, come on, man, we gotta do the anniversary reviews, baby. Yes, sir. Come here, there's a Sound of Revenge. Now, this is like what, the 3rd, maybe 4th Houston album that we've seen, because we've seen Slim Thugs, we've seen Paul Walls, we've seen Pimp C. So yeah, this is the 4th one right here. The Sound of Revenge, Chamillionaire's debut album, with the singles of Riding Dirty and Turn It Up. Chamillionaire, he was doing his goddamn thing on this bad boy. Yes, sir. I love this right here. I mean, hey, I'm a Chamillionaire fan. If you've seen the first episode of the Dark Sage Interlude, you already know that. Let's go ahead to go to the next one. Big Pooh Sleepers. Not gonna lie, I have not heard this one. I have not dug deep into the Little Brother ethos slash mythos slash discography. I have been recommended some Fonte albums that I've heard from my cousin, but I haven't went to Big Pooh's albums, which I really need to do because why he looking a bit like Jay Dilla on this right here. But let's go ahead and go to the next one. Beanie Siegel's To Be Coming. I don't think I've heard this one. I've heard Beanie Siegel obviously rap before. I've heard him plenty of times, but I don't think I've heard this album specifically. So let's go to the next one. Bun B Trill, my favorite rapper of all time. His debut album. People didn't believe in that boy. You know, I obviously had to research it, but people did not believe in that boy that Bun B collapsed on his own without Pimp C. They was like, yo, like, we need to jazz this album up. Like, what are we going to do? Because Pimp is in jail. UGK ain't doing nothing right now. Because I think the last album I think before that was like Dirty Money. They was like, yo, can Bun B really do an album on his own? And god dang it, re-listening to it last year, and I got it on vinyl because Bun B's my favorite rapper. He did his thing. He did his thing. This album is so well put together. Bun B, he's ferocious on the mic. Shout out to Trill Burger, man. I just love what Bun B was doing on this album. He has production credits from like what? Manny Fresh. He has features from Pimp C, Zero, Jay-Z. Damn, I'm forgetting everybody else, but yeah, this album right here. Oh yeah, this album is it right here. Especially with Bun B coming out with an album this year and Pimp C coming out with an album this year, and then when they came out of jail, made one of their best albums, Underground Kings. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm getting hyped, but let's keep going. All right, next project we have Ninth Wonder and Buckshot, Chemistry. I haven't heard this one. Don't have really much of an opinion. Well, I don't have an opinion on it at all. So let's go ahead and skip. Now we got 50 Cent's The Massacre. Now, I don't know what it is with this weird internet phenomenon that's happening. I'm gonna call it that because it's a weird internet trend. A lot of 50 Cent fans slash stands are trying to like make this album a classic. And I won't say that it's a classic. Does it have high sales? Yes. Does it have huge singles coming from this album? Yes. Does it help ride off the coattails of Get Rich or Die Trying and the hype off that? Yes. But this album to me is not a classic. Like to me, this album doesn't like, it's not a quality body of work like Get Rich or Die Trying. To me, it doesn't have that same impact as Get Rich or Die Trying. This does have the huge singles. 50 Cent is a pop star on this album. I don't know if people want to hear that or not, but 50 Cent is a pop star because in the club, he had down Get Rich or Die Trying. He had such a huge like buzz and like craze from Get Rich or Die Trying. And then he has songs on here like Disco Inferno. This album, like this, is this 50 Cent's pop album? Hold up. Is this 50 Cent's pop album? Like, yeah, Get Rich or Die Trying might be a pop album, but is this like his pop album? And by pop, I mean popular. Like, is it popular? Do the masses know these songs? Stuff like that. You got Candy Shop on here. 50 Cent was a sex symbol, and he was definitely a pop star at this point right here. Let's go ahead and keep going. Though. I don't get why people try to call it a classic, though. Yin Yang Twins, United States of Atlanta. Can't really speak about this one. Twisted, The Day After. Can't speak about this one either. Tony Yayo's Thoughts of a Predicate Felon. I've heard this one, but I've only heard it like back in like middle school or elementary. I mean, not elementary, middle school or high school. I really don't have much to say about this because I don't really remember it well. But let's go ahead and go to the next one. Oh, that's it. We're done. Yeah, but if you could actually go over this list, let's see how many Houston albums is on this bad boy because we was ready dominant. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Houston albums. Jeez. Houston was on top on 2005, and there was just so many great albums that came out in 2005 that I cannot wait to do some anniversary reviews on this on the actual show itself of Beyond Beats and Culture, which, like I said before, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But man, I can't wait. I'm so hyped to talk about some of these albums and to re-listen to some of them and actually like listen to them with adult ears and like analyze them kind of like and tell you guys like what do I enjoy, what do I not enjoy, and what are the things I think hold up and don't hold up, especially like what 20 years later. That's crazy to say out loud. I'm an old man now. I'm a geezer, god dang it. I'm nearing 30. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be in a retirement home soon. No! But you guys let me know about some of the albums that you liked in 2005 and some of the albums that on this list that might be your favorite or that might make you feel old. And what are some of the memories that you have with some of these albums right here and you actually going back to some of these albums itself? Man, I'm not going to lie. I revisit albums a good amount. And so to go back to some of these albums, I cannot wait. I really don't need to even go to late registration. Like, like I can review that one off the top of my head if I really wanted to. But we're gonna do it hopefully for the anniversary album review itself, and hopefully, we can do most of these albums on this list right here. Because that little Brother the Mitchell show, oh my gosh, I'm hyped for it right now. I'm hyped to do it right now. But like I said, you guys let me know what you think about this list down in the comment section down below, and let me know if Double XL left off some albums on this list right here that they should have put on here that they obviously sleeping on. And let me know some of your memories, like I said, with some of these albums that are on this list, and let me know some of your favorite songs from some of these albums itself in the comment section down below. But yeah, that's about been it. This was another interlude by the Dark Sage. Peace.